Today I'll be talking about mental health promotion, particularly in small business, and about the Business in Mind project. Okay, so we know that work is a key social determinant of health. So work can provide income, social networks, structure and identity, and personal growth opportunities. Mental health at work is a product of, as Carl said, the work environment, the nature of the work, and the individual in the workplace. And a mentally healthy workplace protects and promotes mental health, as well as respondents to poor mental health. And it improves resilience, mental health and wellbeing, and the productivity of the individual and the organisation. But what we also know is that poor quality work can be harmful to mental health, with a recent study actually showing that poor mental health at work can be more, or a poor job can be more detrimental than being unemployed. And poor quality jobs are characterised by low control over work, low rewards from the work that you do, high effort being put in, and high demands, and these can cause mental health issues such as depression, anxiety and stress. So just setting the scene quickly, a brief snapshot from the most recently released National Survey of Mental Health and Wellbeing shows that approximately 15% of working Australians reported lifetime major depression symptoms. So that is an experience of depression at some point during their life. And almost 21% of working Australians reported lifetime anxiety disorder symptoms. So that's a lot. And what we know is that poor mental health at work can have large productivity and cost outcomes. So 50% of Australians who reported experiencing depression had also reported having an absence due to their depression in the past month. And this absence, as well as continuing to work while sick, known as presenteeism, can incur costs for both the employer in terms of lost productive time, job turnover and employee replacement costs, as well as for the employee. So, for example, an employee who has a sickness absence day is likely to incur a cost, particularly if they're not working in a job with paid sick leave entitlements. But what we do know is, so there's health and productivity costs from poor mental health at work, but it's also an ideal setting for promoting mental health. And by preventing harm, promoting health and providing support for the ability to work, we can lead to better health and productivity outcomes. And one workplace setting which may be particularly important to focus on is small to medium enterprises. And this is for a number of reasons. In particular, looking at small to medium enterprise owner-managers, they may be more susceptible to the predictors of depression or stress and anxiety, as they have experienced high workloads and they have a limited access to the resources that some larger organisations may have access to. They also may experience the negative health and economic consequences of poor mental health more acutely. So, for example, they may be experiencing higher work attendance demands because of the nature of the job. They don't have somebody to fill in for them when they can't attend work due to a sickness that they're experiencing, so they're more likely to keep going to work and incur those productivity costs. To date, this is also an under-researched population, so one of the reasons that they don't have those resources available to them is because there's been very little occupational health research conducted in this particular workplace setting. And this means that the practice guidelines and mental health promotion programs tailored to the specific needs of a small business or a small to medium enterprise are quite underdeveloped. So why else would we focus on SMEs? Well, in Australia they represent 99.2% of all businesses, and this is similar worldwide, so similar statistics in both the UK and the US. They contribute substantially to continued economic growth and represent the majority of new jobs growth internationally and particularly within Australia. And as I mentioned, there are significant consequences for poor mental health within small to medium businesses. And this little graph here shows that they can be split up into individual consequences. So as I mentioned, there's sickness absence, medication side effects, costs of seeking treatment. There's business consequences, so there's lost productive time and job turnover, as well as in a business situation, diminished customer service provision and satisfaction, and ultimately the potential for business failure. And again, there's those larger global economic consequences from reduced employment and new jobs growth. So this identified need has led to the development of the Business in Mind program, which was developed by Dr Angela Martin at the University of Tasmania School of Management. And this is a free DVD and resource kit which is designed to promote mental health amongst small to medium enterprise owner managers and their employees. So it's designed to provide business owners and managers with the skills to look after their own mental health and then recognise and help their employees as well. So the Business in Mind DVD and resource kit's also been supported by WorkCover Tasmania and Beyond Blue and is a free resource for managers who register in the program. And the DVD features business owners discussing their experiences of stress and of running a business, and also includes information from mental health experts such as psychologists and general practitioners. And most importantly is that it's designed to be both preventative of as well as responsive to current mental health issues that small to medium enterprise owner manager might be experiencing. So they do not necessarily have to be experiencing a mental health issue to be involved or get some benefit from the kit, but it's more about educating them about promoting mental health as well. So the DVD and the accompanying resource book that comes with the DVD is split up into 5 chapters. These look at managing mental health, which looks at managing and preventing common mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse and general stress. It looks at coping with stress, particularly identifying stressors within the business that may be causing these issues, providing the owner-manager with some strategies as to how to cope with these stressors, and then implementing some changes or suggesting some changed behaviours. It looks at positive relationships with everybody that as SME and owner-manager might work with, so their employees, clients, suppliers, contractors, and importantly their family as well. They've got a chapter on creating balance, which is very important, which looks at creating a work-life balance, which is often very tricky for a SME owner-manager to achieve, and promoting overall health as well as mental health. And finally, the 5th chapter looks at positive growth, which is really focused on their business. Okay, so to be included in the Business in Mind project or to sign up to register, owner managers had to just be in a current managerial role within a business employing less than 200 employees, had to be over 18 years of age, have access to a telephone as one arm of the intervention that we conducted to evaluate the resource. Also included some telephone support phone calls from qualified psychologists. They also had to have access to a computer and DVD so that they could watch the DVD. And I've just put on there that we also had included non-government organisations after receiving some funding from Beyond Blue to look at this group as well, as they experience some of the same issues as small to medium businesses. So there's 3 arms in the project. So there's the DVD and the resource kit, we are calling the Business in Mind program, and then there's the project which has been set up to evaluate the DVD. And once the owner managers had registered to participate, they were put into one of 3 groups. So they received the DVD and resource kit, which just had a chapter which was focusing on managing mental health issues in the workplace. A second group received a longer DVD and resource kit, which included some extra material on reducing stress and maintaining work-life balance. And the third group was, as I mentioned, they received some support phone calls from qualified psychologists to help them deal with relevant aspects of the material that they'd identified were important to them. So once owner managers registered to participate, they completed a baseline survey, and then they were asked to complete follow-up surveys at 3, 6 and 12 months. And these surveys included questions about their feelings about work, dealing with the challenges of owning and managing SME, and the impacts of their business on their health and wellbeing. So we had a baseline survey to measure how they felt before they received the kit, and then we measured these again later to see whether having the resources helped deal with some of these issues. The surveys also included some evaluative thoughts that they were to provide us about their DVD and resource so that we could develop it and improve it in the future. So we're still recruiting into the Business in Mind program. So we currently have 276 managers participating at baseline, but we're still accepting more registrations. And for that reason, I don't have any results to present at this stage, but we have had the first wave of follow-up data, and from that we've had fairly positive participant feedback, with most participants reporting that it's a high quality resource, and they found it to be very useful. And in particular, the telephone group who received those support calls often reported active experimentation with the strategies to improve mental health within their business. So they found those calls really helpful. So the Business in Mind project we believe is very important in that it's going to provide information that will help SME owner managers manage their own mental health and that of their employees. And it will also help improve awareness, which may reduce some resistance to workplace mental health promotion strategies within this particular sector. And as this is the first project that's been conducted within this working population, it's the first step to guide future research into this sector. And as I mentioned, so we're still accepting registrations into the Business in Mind project, very keen to accept those, and you can contact us by visiting our website, or we're contactable by email or phone. And I have plenty of flyers here today that you could take away with all our contact details on there and a little bit more information about the project as well. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Fiona. And it is a resource, a very high quality resource, as Fiona said, ladies and gentlemen. I can commend it to you, and if you think your organisation could benefit from this program, and I'm sure every organisation could benefit from Business in Mind, please make sure you get a brochure from Fiona or visit those websites or ring that number. Perhaps best to pick up a brochure before you go. It's a fantastic program.